Well, would you look at what we have here? Beautiful Corvette. I love the color. I believe it's a 2007, and it's here. Try and focus on that harmonic balancer. See it wobbling? So we're going to change the balancer on this thing. So I don't want to get it too hot. I've watched several procedures on doing this, and I'm going to remove the power steering rack. You can see that there's about 1.5 inches between the pulley and the power steering gear. I've watched a couple of videos, and some people drop the subframe assembly, support the engine. This looks to me like I think it's a better procedure to remove the steering gear, disconnect the tie rod ends, and disconnect the lines. We're also going to put a couple of new belts on it when we get in there. Customer's ordered the parts. He's got an aftermarket balancer, new harmonic balancer bolt, new AC belt, new serpentine belt. So let's get started. We'll start by disconnecting the negative battery cable. So release the tension on the serpentine belt, and if you look down at the steering shaft with the steering wheel almost straight ahead but slightly to the left, you can get a long extension and 11 mil socket down there to get that pinch bolt out. So slide the steering shaft up. You might want to put the seat belt through the steering wheels. Don't make sure the steering wheel doesn't turn to interrupt the orientation of the clock spring, especially if you're in a busy shop where somebody might get in the vehicle and start screwing around with the steering. So remove the air induction system, disconnect the mass airflow sensor and the PCV nipple, take the air cleaner housing assembly out and the cover off of it, disconnect the power steering return line and catch the fluid. It's got one of those crimp-on clamps. We're going to have to put I don't think I have any of those, plus it's difficult to get in there and put them in place. And we're going to try and lower that cooler. So remove the stabilizer bar assembly. Then the bolts that hold the cooler, power steering cooler. We're going to try and take this one off at the rack. 2 bolts down here that hold the bracket that supports the ABS pump hydraulic assembly. 2 nuts on the side of it. You can reach one up through there and one up through here. Disconnect the tie rod ends. Lower the subframe. I pried it down and stuck a couple of wedges in there. That gives you a little bit more room. I'm not sure if we're going to be taking the cooling fans out. See how much room I get once I get this cooler out of the way. So there's 2 bolts that hold the steering gear in. One on this side goes in from the back. 18 mil wrench through here. And a socket on an impact gun through the front. And I pried, like I said, I pried the subframe down. I put a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch drive short socket in there to space it. It's actually being pulled up by the leaf spring assemblies. So there's the 2 power steering lines off. Take off the pressure line, the one closest to the engine first, and then the return line. They're both 18 mil. This thing is like brand new, this car, so once they cracked loose, they just spun out pretty easily. Blow the lines off with compressed air so there's no sand or grit that might fall into those ports. And I've plugged those ports with caps. So pivot the steering gear down and turn it and out the right side so you can get this left tie rod end to clear the harness here, and then we should be able to pull it this way. So I'm going to try and get this thing out of here. It'd be nice if I had a helper. It'd be nice if the trouble light wasn't in your eyes. Okay. Success. Look at all the room we got in there now. We'll clean all this oil off so he doesn't lose points at the car show. So I tried my impact gun on there and no luck. Maybe if I heat up the bolt and let the heat wick down the bolt to release the Loctite. Now there's a holding fixture, but it goes in place of the starter. I don't have it. I'm going to get a helper to put a heel bar in here to hold this bolt, at least to put it back together again to torque it, because the torque is tremendous. It's like 400 foot-pounds. So I heated the bolt up with a torch and let it sit for 5 minutes or so, and the bolt came out with the impact gun. So now I'm taking the balancer off with a 3-jaw puller. As you can see, haven't got quite enough room to get the impact gun, the angled impact gun in there, but this is lots of room. You don't need to take the cooling fans out, in my opinion. So I replaced the front seal, and I got the installation tool, which is not right, but I made it work. I used an old original bolt and cut it off at the head here and threaded the inside of the bolt to 7/16 fine thread. And I've got it threaded in there. I've already tried the other pulley. It'll slip up over top of this on, and I can put the bearing in the nut, which is this part here, the bearing and the nut, to push it on. But I'm waiting for the pulley. It's in the oven baking. Warm it up a bit so it expands. So by pushing it on with this pusher, you don't pull the threads on the end of the crankshaft snout. But like I said, I had to modify this tool. I think I heated the pulley up to 200 degrees. Yeah. Now we'll look up the actual torque procedure. So here's the procedure. Install the original bolt and torque it to 240 foot-pounds. That sets the balancer to make sure it's on all the way. Then remove the original bolt and install the new replacement bolt. And I used a little bit of high-point gear lube on it for lubrication, and tighten it to 37 foot-pounds. Mark where it is, and then turn it another 140 degrees. Now, I had a helper here a few minutes ago, and he used a long bar in here to keep this from rotating. So I used that breaker bar and a 4-foot pipe. It's honestly got to be upwards of 400 foot-pounds. But I know that there's a pinning kit available for doweling these crank pulleys, but given the fact that this engine is stock, he's not running a supercharger, I'm sure this is going to be just fine. Some of you guys might want to recommend the pinning kit, but I don't think it's necessary on this stock engine. Well, there's the steering gear back in. Power steering line's reconnected. I did have to wedge this down about an inch. Makes getting it in there now. I'm going to put this ABS brake hydraulic actuator, and there's a rubber insulator on the bottom that goes into this ear in the bracket here. This looks like this. So I put the cooler up in position while I tightened the lines, and then I took it back down so that I could fish that bracket up there. Maybe I'm going to put the power steering or the serpentine belt on. So don't forget to put the pinch bolt in. Put some blue Loctite on it. You can see I got it a long extension. And the pinch bolt's 20 foot-pounds. The steering gear mounting bolts are 74 foot-pounds. The tie rod, outer tie rod ends are 22 foot-pounds plus 120 degrees. Put Loctite on those nuts as well. The crossmember subframe cradle bolts or nuts are 81 foot-pounds. So I got the serpentine belt on. I'm going to put that bracket for the ABS on now. So there it is, all back together from the bottom. These bushing bolts or clamps are 43 foot-pounds, and these are 58, I believe. Double check the specs though. The links. My trouble light's dead again. Well, there it is, back together and running again. I filled the power steering with this AC Delco cold climate fluid. Not that this really needs cold climate because it's never going to see the snow. And looking at the pulley, it's nice and true now. I noticed his battery hold down is missing. He's going to lose points at the car show for that. And I had to replace that crimp clamp on the power steering return line with a screw clamp. So he's going to get a deduction for sure. But that's it. Thanks for watching.